here we go. All right, so Bernie, thank you very much for being willing to come and be hot seat coached today. So
hot seat coached.
You're on the hot seat, baby. So basically, what this is it's an introduction to the chapters in my book, Rediscover You. And so I gave the participants all the choice of which chapter they wanted to explore. And you chose chapter 8, which is leaning in.
Okay.
Okay. So I have a couple of questions for you. So basically what this particular chapter does is it helps to explore just kind of like what area of your life you'd like to make some changes in, sort of who you'd like to be in that area of your life, the actions that you're willing to take to make some changes in that area, and what would have to happen for you to actually stay consistent in those habits and those actions. And then in the book, I have a commitment letter that people sign, right? So it's kind of that, like, it's that awareness that I am, in fact, making a commitment, right? So I'm going to just quickly share my screen so that people can see what it looks like in the book, and so can you. So we'll share my screen real quick here. I have a flip book version of my book. So let me know when you can see that.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, awesome. So this is week 8, and basically it says steps to a successful week 8 would be to sign that commitment letter. You can just do it, we'll do like air sign or something. When I walk you through it, you'll pretend like you're signing the screen. Yeah, so here we go. So let's get right into it here. So and I know that we didn't do a lot of talking ahead of time, so most of this is going to come at you completely out of nowhere. But that's kind of what coaching is anyways, is that if you ever did work with a coach or psychologist or anything like that, you don't get a script, you don't get pre-warning. It's meant to be kind of off the cuff and in the moment and sort of your first reaction to things, right? So when you think about leaning in, you must have chose that for a reason. So is there an area of your life where you feel like you could lean in more?
Yeah, getting things done, you know.
Okay.
I used to be a real go-getter before. Now these days I can't seem to, get up and go, I mean, I get up and go with my group, but I can't, I'm not as active as I was before, and I want to, kick myself in the butt, like you say.
Okay. So when you say get up and go, you mean like being more active, more physically active?
Yeah.
Okay. See, and it's interesting because when I think of you, I see you as very physically active. Like you're always, let's walk, let's do this, let's go there, let's go there. Like you don't really sit still. So it's interesting that you have this perception of yourself as needing to get up and go more.
Yeah. I know. Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Okay. So when you think about yourself in that area of being like more active and like kicking yourself in the butt and being able to get up and go, kind of like, what does that look like? What would you as that person be doing differently than you are now, do you think?
What would I be doing differently? Getting up earlier and like I used to before when we all first started, getting up earlier and taking off and doing things for like 2-3 hours and then come home and just get things done around here. And, which I don't anymore.
So any idea like what sort of got in the way, do you think? Like what's changed? Because you said you used to be like that, right? So
I think it was COVID that did it.
Okay.
That kind of dragged everybody down, and it just kind of stopped everybody from doing stuff. And it's weird. And I mean, I'm still trying to get back into it now. So with this group, it's forcing me to get out and do.
Right. So accountability, having somebody is really beneficial for you. Yeah.
Yeah, because it'll help me get up and go. That way I can get up and go by myself again. So doing this with the Ramblers, it makes me accountable that I have to be there, because you have to do a check-in.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, so for you, having You have to check in. It's accountability. What else about it do you think is helping for you?
Being with other people,
Okay.
being with other people that are trying to get their get up and go and their mojo back too. Like the lady I walked with today, she said the same thing. She just doesn't know where her mojo went, and now joining this group, she's gonna start getting it back again.
Awesome. Okay. So you've been working with these people for a while now?
For about 3 weeks now.
3 weeks. Okay. Awesome. So now, but you're still here because you're saying you still want to lean in more. So what do you
Yep.
think is still missing for you to really feel like you are kind of getting back to who you were before COVID?
I don't know. There's
Well,
something stopping. I don't know what it is. I can't really pinpoint it.
okay.
I think it's just me. I don't know. I mean, I try and sit and figure out why am I not doing that like I used to? I used to do this every day. I used to do that every day. Why am I not doing it anymore? And I can't. I don't have an answer. I don't.
Okay. Okay, so when the moment comes, like, because the thoughts are there, right? You get up in the morning and you're like, oh, I should go. What's the next thought, do you think? Because I mean,
The next thought,
basically you talk yourself out of it, right? So
yeah,
what's the thought that comes after the, oh, I should get up? It's like, oh, but it's so warm here. Oh, I think I just want to have a
that,
coffee
that,
here. Like what are the thoughts, right?
because I look out the window and it's like, oh, it's pouring with rain. No, I'm not going. Oh, it's too cold.
Right.
And that stops me dead right there. And I go back and
Okay. Okay, so now what if you had that thought anyways? You're like you can't really stop the thoughts
yeah,
necessarily. I mean,
you
you
can't.
can over time, it takes a while, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But right here and right now, what do you think would be a better thing to do when number one, you're like, okay, I should get up and go do this. And then number two, oh, I don't want to get out of bed. It's so cold out there. I'm just gonna stay here for a little while longer. Number three, what would be, do you think, the best next move to actually get you out of bed and get you moving?
Just do it.
Just do it? Okay.
Do it.
Okay. So what would
You know,
it take for you to just do it?
once, oh, it would, I don't know, but I would
Yeah.
just once you're out that door,
Okay.
you know, it gets easy. Once you're out that door, if you're on this side of the door, you don't want to, but once you get out that door and you close the door behind you, it's like, oh, okay, let's go.
Ah, okay. So the struggle really is just getting out the door.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So between bed and the door, what gets in your way?
Me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's all of us. It's always us. We are the problem. I love Taylor Swift's song, right? It's me. I'm the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so let's pretend for a second that it's not you. You're not the problem. You're actually the solution. So what would the solution do instead of the problem do?
Ah,
Okay,
that.
there you go. There's a whole new identity for you. Is now
Yeah,
I'm the solution. That's your new mantra. I'm the solution.
I am the solution. Oh, I don't know how to answer that one. That
And
one's
that
a
right there, that's the missing piece of the puzzle right there. If I was actually the solution and not the problem, what would I be
yeah.
doing?
Oh, I don't know. That's a really, really tough question. I don't know.
Okay. So
I
what's
mean,
one small
oh,
little thing that you think you could do somewhere between bed and the door that would make it more likely that you'd get out the door? One small thing.
maybe talk to somebody and say, this is where I'm going. And that
Okay.
way, I have to do it because now I've actually told somebody I'm going to go and do something.
Ah, okay. So do you have somebody that you could just quickly text and say,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
just let you know I'm going for
Yep.
okay, so talk to somebody. So now think about the last time you were the problem and you didn't make it out the door. Okay.
Yeah.
What is the likelihood that you would actually next time just text somebody and say, hey, I'm just heading out, wanted to let you know? From 1 to
Oh,
10, what is the likelihood that you think you could do that next time?
I could do that.
From 1 to 10.
For a number.
Yeah.
That would be an 8 because I have a
Okay.
friend. Him and I are accountable to each other, even though we don't live anywhere close to each other.
Okay.
But we have coffee every morning at 8 o'clock, and we start our day together with coffee. And then he says, "Okay, I'm going to the park to walk." And it's like, "Okay, then I'm heading out too, and I'll call you while I'm gone."
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Okay. I like it. So how does that feel? Now it sounds to me like you're the solution and not the problem anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's go
Like,
back to the beginning of our conversation. Does it feel like there's a chance that it's going to be easier for you to actually do the thing, lean in, do the thing that you said that you want to be doing?
yep.
Okay.
It would.
Awesome. Okay. So that's basically what this chapter in my book is about, is it's trying to figure out what's getting in the way, and then just one small little step that you can take
Mhm.
along the way from here to here. What can I do differently so that instead of going here and going back to bed, all of a sudden now you're like, now you're over here and you've made
Yep.
a different decision and you're doing something different, right?
Yep.
Okay. So is this something that you could see yourself, this the sort of technique of asking yourself these questions and saying, am I the solution if I was the solution?
Yep.
Can you see this being something you could do in other areas of your life as well? Do you think this would be a helpful tool?
It would be, and also like I do a lot of reminder notes. I've
Ooh,
got calendars. I've got yeah.
you
I've
mean
got
like sticky notes?
notes. I have reminders on my phone. I set alarm reminders on
Oh,
my phone. I've got one on my fridge that's a magnetic one. I have one that sits on my kitchen table, and I write everything down on them.
love it. I am a journal girl, so I do like that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so how do you feel right now? Do you feel a little bit like more likely, more motivated to actually get that done now?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so let's move over. So this, if you were using the book, I'm still sharing the screen. If you were
Yeah.
using the book, this is where you would write down the information from the question. So there's questions here about, what would I do to create the habit? This is
Yeah.
where you would do your reflecting. And then here is where you would sign your commitment letter. So it says, I
Oh,
am committing to. So Bernie, what are you committing to?
I am committing to getting out more and getting more fresh air.
Beautiful. Okay, so what could potentially get in the way?
The damp, the cold.
Okay, okay,
You know
okay,
me, rhinos. But I've solved the problem with my rhinos these days with the damp weather and the cold outside.
okay.
I've got these socks that I bought that heat up when you're walking,
Hmm.
and then over top of them I put wool socks on.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. What
So
about you
I
for your hands?
solved the problem.
What about for your hands?
My hands, I wear mittens and then I put gloves over top.
Okay, so you are the solution. You've already become the solution for a few things already.
And then I wear a hat. You know me, I hate hats, but I've taken to wearing a slouch hat, one of those ones
Okay,
that back. That way
yep,
it keeps my ears warm.
awesome. Oh, that's good. See, I like it. You are the solution. Okay, so what about who could get in your way?
Life.
No, who? Who?
I don't
Who?
have family,
Okay,
commitments to family, emergencies come up or whatever that could get in the way of things.
okay. So other than an emergency, how committed are you to like sticking to what's important to you?
Oh, I'll stick to it because when I take my granddaughter to the gym, I
Yep,
throw her in the gym and I do the track.
perfect. Awesome. Good. So you've got lots of ways that you've already kind of really started to think about how to stick with what
Yep.
you want. So leaning in sounds to me like you were already 90% there anyways. So okay, so here, what am I willing to give up? So to stick to what you want, what are you willing to give up?
Am I sitting on my butt?
Okay. Yeah.
Willing to give up TV?
Okay.
Yep. I won't give up my artwork. No,
No.
willing to give up TV to get out.
Okay. Awesome. What am I not willing to give up? So you already said it, your artwork.
Yeah, my artwork. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause that I can get lost in it because I do diamond art.
Mm-hmm.
And I can sit for hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you ever do feel like you're using it as an excuse not to go, a suggestion is you can use it as a reward because you
Yeah.
obviously love it. So you can say, you know what, I'm not going to do my diamond art until I've walked around the block 3 times or
Yep.
something first, right?
Oh
To
yeah, that could.
motivate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, here you go. You can just air sign it. You are now committing, my
There we.
friend, to leaning in to the thing that you said that you wanted in the beginning, which is getting out and
Mhm.
kicking your own butt, basically.
There. Yeah.
Okay. So how does that feel going through the process? I mean, it all seems very simple and it sounds to me like you've already thought a lot about it and you've already started to take action towards it. But going
Mhm.
through kind of just answering these questions and thinking about it a little bit differently, do you think it made a difference for you at all?
Because when you talk about it, like when you and I are walking and all that, when you talk about it, you actually do it when you're talking about it because it's easier.
Hmm.
Yeah. And when you have somebody that's with you that is accountable, that you're accountable to that person, you have to be there and all that. And yeah,
So accountability sounds like it's a really big deal for you.
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
having the group and then also having that friend of yours that you
Hmm.
can text, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's the really important thing for people is to really understand that figuring out what works for them and then
Yeah.
using it to your advantage. Like you're the one that, even if maybe it seems a little silly to say, oh, I'm just going to text my friend. It's like, well, do I really need that? Yeah. You know what? Maybe you do. Right. And if it serves the purpose and it gets you moving,
I mean,
then
that's because he will leave his house in Silverton to drive to Nelson, but he calls me before he leaves his house. He calls me when he's on the road. He calls me once he gets there, and then he does it all the way back too, just so I know where he is.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? It's really nice that you have somebody, like a friend like that, that you
Hmm.
can do that for, right? Us single girls, right? It's
Yeah.
nice to have somebody that we're kind of watching out for and that watches out for us, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being willing to participate
Oh, worries.
in this video with me. And if there's anything that I can do to help you further with
Mhm.
the leaning in process that you're working on, make sure to let me know.
I will, and let me know if you ever want to go have coffee or whatever, go for a walk or whatever. You let me know.